Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Analyst Desk. It is I, Jacob Moore, the sports analyst, and we haven't done a pre-recorded show in a hot minute. So we decided to get to our desks and do a show. But of course, I'm joined by Mr. Moore for your money.
Woo! Hello, everyone.
And Sam, who doesn't just want baseball today.
Listen, I can give you the full name. It just can't fit on my thing. It reads Sam is still learning about the CFL, but he loves the CFL, so this should be fun.
And of course, Sam is from Football Talk with Sam, and don't worry, he's gonna have lots of content coming up, especially once we get into baseball season.
Yeah, it will, guys. If you didn't know, I go to school with Dan, and the assignments are kind of crazy.
Yep.
And I would say this too, Sam. I think you deserve hazard pay for doing a podcast with Dan and being in class with him.
We got to
talk about the Canadian Football League and the tampering window. So by the time this releases, the tampering window will have opened. So what the tampering window is, for anyone who doesn't know, you have about a week to negotiate with players who are currently rights are owned by their current team. Then that team has a chance to try to match or beat said offer. So you know how, like, for example, when everyone was crying because they said the Vegas Golden Knights tampered with Mitch Marner. In the CFL, that would be fine. You can do that, but it would give the Leafs the opportunity to try to match the exact same offer. The CFL is like, if we can't beat them, let's join them, but let's try to police it instead of trying to stop something we just can't stop. So what I figured the best way to do this today is to start to go over some of these top free agents in the CFL, and let's talk about where we think they are going to go. So let's start off with the top 10. Woo! So is there any names here, guys, that jumps off the page for you right off the hop in the top 10?
I'm shocked that McMahon's is only number 5.
Dan, do you want Jake Steresna back? He was really good.
Sick.
He was really good for the Argos a couple years ago.
Yeah.
The thing with Jake Steresna, he had some injury problems last year. And remember, Toronto did just bring back Hendricks, and they still have Chatfield and Casey, who had both very, very good seasons.
Right.
My interested one for here is when I'm looking in this top 10 at number 8, which is AJ Ouellette.
Yeah.
I think AJ Ouellette, if he does not re-sign in Saskatchewan, Dan, you're gonna take a big drink for this. I think he's going to Hamilton.
Yeah.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats are not re-signing Greg Bell. They've made that pretty clear. And you look at a guy like AJ Ouellette, I think he might be Hamilton's missing piece.
Yeah, he's not coming back to Toronto, that's for sure.
I would be really surprised if he came back to Toronto. I don't see that happening personally.
I would love to see that happen.
I would love to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to.
I don't think he wants to be in Toronto anymore.
Like when there was a lot of culture change in Toronto past couple weeks.
Sorry, Dan?
There's a lot of culture change in Toronto the past couple of weeks. For all we know, Lane could have been right and he hated Dimwitty, you know?
Well, and my interested thing is, too, when you mentioned Ouellette, I think with Ouellette, he's going to want to go to a market where the CFL is the biggest ticket in town, which is why I think he's going to go to Hamilton if he doesn't stay in Saskatchewan. You know, I live in Hamilton. I know I'm an Argo fan living in Hamilton. Put me in jail, blah, blah, blah. But when I look at Hamilton and the market, I think it's the closest Ontario market to Saskatchewan for the culture of football, and Hamilton's got a good culture in general. And we went over those CFL team grades. They were at the top. So I could really see AJ Ouellette going to Hamilton.
Got that AHL team coming in a couple of years, so
yeah,
have some competition.
You know what? I think Hamilton, no matter what, I think will be a CFL city first. It's kind of like Winnipeg when the Jets came back, the Blue Bombers were still the hotter ticket.
Right, that's true too. That was a big shocker, right? Like we kind of figured once the Jets came in Winnipeg, no one would even talk about Blue Bombers, but no, that's complete opposite. No one really cares about the Jets. Now maybe that's because the Blue Bombers keep winning, but I don't think so. I think they just love their football.
I don't think nobody cares about the Jets. I feel like there's a lot of games in an NHL season, especially compared to CFL. And obviously, I haven't compared ticket prices, but even football being the least amount of games, I would have to assume the tickets are a little more expensive for the Jets, just because it's a
They
hockey
are.
league.
I mean, Winnipeg Blue Bombers are actually CFL's affordable, right? And I think that's why you see as many people as you do going.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that Winnipeg Princess Auto Stadium full.
Oh, I
Like,
would
that
I would
stadium's
love to
loud.
go see a game in either Winnipeg or in Saskatchewan. It's on my bucket list because I think they look
Why
like
don't we
the two most
Why don't we
electric.
do an analyst desk trip to one of the games?
I'm down.
I've never been
We
on a
don't
plane.
have a sponsor for that, but we could.
Sam,
Yeah, 100%.
I've never been on a plane, so will you hold my hand and tell me I'm not going to die?
I don't
just
like
learned
flying
the
either.
hard.
How about we just drive there?
I learned the
We could take
hard
the
way.
train, Dan. Wouldn't you love to
Oh,
take the train there?
Yeah, I do.
Cost a fortune, but again, we could be sponsored by Via Rail.
I learned the hard way not to bring a knife with me to the airport.
How do we get to this?
I don't
I was
know.
gonna
I
say-
actually had
I
a
was gonna say-
Zacco knife in my pocket.
I was gonna say, if we take the train, we could do analyst desk shows on the train, pre-records.
That'd be sick. That'd be
Now,
so
one
cool.
player though who's not on this top 10 list, and this is the
You can
top
bring us
10
these
from
Sonic
Third
Quick.
Down Nation BTW, and I think it was more because he wasn't available yet. But now I think it's time that we break off the list for the first time, and then we're going to come back to this list again and talk about Trey Ford. So Trey
Yes.
Ford was released by Edmonton yesterday.
I feel like it was inevitable. Like, they didn't want
was.
to. I think he had bonuses coming up that Edmonton wasn't going to pay. So,
Well, and
it was
Trey
inevitable.
Ford doesn't want to be in Edmonton. Cody Fajardo took the team from him, and rightfully so. Cody Fajardo, you know what, made that team competitive. But my question for you guys is, I think the CFL's website of where Trey Ford's going to go to, I think they may have they might be on something, thinking it's going to either be Saskatchewan, Toronto, or BC. Because I don't
He's
think
going to be he's most likely going to be a backup. So I feel like he should go somewhere where he's similar to the quarterback. Did you mention Calgary in that?
I did not personally know.
Oh, you mentioned BC. I was going to say
CFL
Calgary
said
because
BC, Winnipeg, or Toronto, and I don't see him going to any of those. I could see him maybe going to Winnipeg.
Maybe, but they
Because
Winnipeg signed that American guy as well.
True.
So,
but Trey Ford being Canadian really does help your ratio. You got to remember that, right? Your ratio numbers are important. So I think Trey Ford's going to want to go somewhere where he can potentially be a starter and maybe not this season, but maybe next season. And there's two teams that come to mind to me, and that is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They have two older quarterbacks. Trevor Harris, this has got to be his last year, I would assume.
I don't agree with you with Saskatchewan. I'll tell you why. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Jake Mayer could take over for the Roughriders.
Jake Mayer is not re-signed yet in Saskatchewan. It doesn't look like he's going.
He's one of our free agents that we're getting to.
Mind then.
We will be getting to him.
Crazy hot.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say Calgary because he's kind of similar to VA in a way that they're both mobile,
right.
And I feel like when I watched VA a couple of years ago, he wasn't really polished to where he is now. And Trey Ford seems to be kind of that guy, so maybe he fits into that offense better.
Good point.
The thing is, Calgary, though, has that PJ Walker. And Dan, I know you judged him off one start, but when he came back in again later, look, PJ Walker's probably got the strongest arm in the entire league. He has one of the Dan, let me cook. Let me cook, as the cool kids say.
It's not all the game tape.
PJ Walker, when he was in the NFL, threw an 80-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
He has the second longest touchdown pass in professional football history.
With a smaller ball.
Okay, so that means he can easily throw it 70.
Yeah.
Right? And there's something you have to say to just pure arm talent. It's why Dane Evans got so many opportunities, is what he did. Even though we couldn't read offenses maybe as well as we'll say a Cody Fajardo, the pure arm talent gave him a chance. And I know Dave Dickinson really likes PJ Walker. So I don't think Calgary really needs a Trey Ford. I look at Winnipeg and Saskatchewan. They are two teams of older quarterbacks, especially Winnipeg, because I think Collaros, although he's younger than Trevor Harris is not playing nearly as well as Trevor Harris is. Yeah. And I think Trey Ford's going to want to go somewhere. Like in Toronto, there's no point. They already have 2 starting quarterbacks in Toronto. I heard some people rumbling about Montreal. Maybe Montreal because Davis Alexander's had some health problems.
Right. I can kind of see that actually. I can see Montreal, but I got a hot take on Trey Ford. I don't think Trey Ford's on the top 10 because I don't think he is a top 10 free agent. Okay. I really don't. I mean, he's had ample opportunities to take this Edmonton team and won with it and failed multiple times.
Yeah, but that hasn't been a great Edmonton team. I know they got people around him that last year, but like he hasn't really been in a great environment.
That's true.
You gotta remember, this is the GM that also said the CFL has 0 superstars. Like Edmonton's not been a good culture the last 3-4 years.
No, and it's very unfortunate they finally got a enthusiastic owner and he passed away like not even a year after he got the team. Unfortunately, that was very sad. But yeah, so Edmonton is a very odd situation. But it kind of reminds me of the Austin Matthews of Canadian Football League. I don't got it.
Wow, that's a hot take.
I mean, like, I love his talent level. I think that game you and I saw, Jacob, when Edmonton was in Toronto, he made that crazy touchdown pass. That has to be one of the most wildest passes I've seen in my life. Like, he's very talented, but is he a quarterback that's going to lead the franchise to a Grey Cup? I don't think so.
I think he's a quarterback, though, that with the right system could be a good starter with a year under another guy that can mentor him, which is why, again, I'm going to keep saying it, Saskatchewan or Winnipeg is the perfect spot for Trey Ford.
And Winnipeg,
I like Winnipeg because just listen to Zach Collaros be even an analyst and be on these shows recently. Like, brilliant. I love listening to that dude talk ball.
Me too.
He knows. I mean, obviously, if you bring any quarterback with any kind of experience in the CFL, NFL, even the UFL, they're gonna know their stuff because you have to. But with a guy like him, like he played college ball at Cincinnati with the Kelsey brothers. He's played in the CFL for a long time with a couple different teams. Like he knows his stuff.
So. 100%. And the other thing we haven't talked about yet is Trey Ford's brother is on Winnipeg. Well, he was, right?
Yeah, Tyrell signed last offseason. He was on Winnipeg, and then he left.
Yeah, so there's already
Tyrell's still in Edmonton.
Yeah, he's still in Edmonton, but I mean, he was in Winnipeg before, so he will know about the culture, and maybe if his brother signs in Winnipeg, he'll go back and want to trade to the Blue Bombers. I don't know.
Now, remember, too, Winnipeg, too, they're also loading up. They just signed Tim White recently. And they were talking to Tim White when he talked to Zach Collaros, and Zach Collaros apparently said the motto of the team is get with the culture or get the bleep out. Yeah. So Winnipeg has built a winning culture.
Not quite the same words. We'll go over.
I feel like White's got to fix his dropping problem now.
And he even admitted that we were talking about media.
Like get on the machine and the facility there and get going.
Yeah. Now, I have a question about you guys for Trey Ford before we move on to another player on that top 10.
It's going to be on the top 10.
With Trey Ford, yeah, I know, Dan, but and we'll get back to the top 10. With Trey Ford, could you see him going to the XFL to be a starter?
No.
Why not? I mean, I think the XFL needs better quarterback play. Pardon?
Because it's a joke of a league.
I don't know if I'd call it a joke of a league, but
I mean, he's already having troubles. He hasn't
had any American football experience either. Like he played at Waterloo. He played at Waterloo in Canada and then got drafted to Edmonton. Like he doesn't have any. Him and his brother both came out of Waterloo.
So now, by the way, though, Trey Ford did get NFL tryouts 2 years ago. So, like,
yeah, but like a few practices, like no game reps, like probably not a ton of scrimmages. Oh, bye, Jacob.
No, I'm still here. Don't you worry.
Why is your face blue?
He's gone.
I just saying. I wonder with Trey Ford, will his journey in the CFL be over, and will he look at other options, whether it's the XFL, arena football? It depends. Does he want to make a little more money, or does he want to go somewhere where he's actually going to get to play? Can you imagine Trey Ford in arena football with
I was
his
gonna say that'd be
mobility?
pretty cool.
It'd be crazy. Look at even
Yeah.
Kurt
Not a lot of
Warner
space though.
back in
Not a
the
lot
day.
of space.
True.
You could just won the whole field.
I don't know. I feel like Trey Ford
to me
loves
is
the
a guy
Canadian
that,
game
I
because
would take a gamble on as a backup just because under the right system, I think this guy could be one of the best quarterbacks in the CFL. I really do.
I would take a gamble on him as a backup. I don't think he has what it takes to be a starter, but maybe to like have behind a veteran leadership group. Like I think Winnipeg's kind of the perfect fit for him. I really do.
Winnipeg
I don't think Winnipeg wants to sign another quarterback.
Well, they have to because I don't think Strevler's coming back.
Yeah, it was so sad to see him go down like that. Holy cow!
And Trey Ford can be your short yardage and your backup, which clears cap space.
100%.
I would think that he would be only short yardage. I think that guy they signed out of I think he was at like Auburn and Michigan State came in. I don't know. He had an interview on 3 Down Nation. I forget the name, but
you're thinking of Wilson.
It might be, yeah.
But another player we need to talk about.
He would be more polished with more experience.
Right. But another guy we could talk about from the top 10 list is where does Winton McManus play in 2026?
Oh, this is my guy. I love this.
Yeah, Jan, is he coming back?
I sure hope so. I really hope so. Like he's won the multiple Grey Cups with us. I get we got Judge. That was a great signing. I get we got Jacob, help me out. Who is the other guy we brought back?
Darius Pickett.
Darius Pickett. I love him
Dark
too.
Angelo, he's good. Like
he's good.
Backup, but he's very good.
He is good. Don't get me wrong.
The tough thing in Toronto is you have cap space for 2 starting quarterbacks, and the money's got to come somewhere, and you still probably got to fix some issues with your defensive backs. I hate to say it, I think Winton McManus might be the odd man out in Toronto.
Oh, I'll be sad.
And if he is, I think he's going to go follow his buddy Ryan Dinwiddie, and he's going to go to Ottawa.
Don't they need defense as well there?
Desperately, and they just cut they cut a Darius Pickett, and then he signed in Toronto. So either that or BC cut Micah Alway, which was a real surprise.
Crazy shocker.
So
Nathan Rourke signed that new extension too, so he's going to be there for BC.
That's right.
I feel like they need to market him better. I feel like Nathan Rourke's just the marketing he is the definition of someone who needs to be marketed better.
Yes, Rourke needs a lot more media training. But I think though with Winton McManus, I think he either wants to stay in Toronto or have a chance for a Grey Cup again. So I don't see him going. He doesn't really fit in Montreal. He doesn't fit in Saskatchewan. He definitely won't go back to. I'd be shocked if he went back to Calgary.
I forgot he was in Calgary.
See him going to Hamilton. So I look at it. I think it comes down to BC, maybe Winnipeg, because again, you don't have Adam Bighill in Winnipeg anymore, and I felt that was a hole last year. Unfortunately, Winton McManus will not get another shot in the NFL because I've had people ask me that before. He did play for Miami briefly, and they said he was too short. But I mean, the guy's a beast.
That's crazy considering that whole team's short.
The NFL is too worried about height and just about analytical numbers, I think, when it comes to attributes on players. But I think with Winton McManus, it's Toronto, Ottawa, or BC. That's my 3 that I think. People say Hamilton. Sorry, Rick from Hamilton Sports Central. I'm sure you're watching this later on. I don't see Winton McManus going to Hamilton. I think it's going to be Ottawa, Toronto, or BC.
I say Ottawa.
Call me crazy. I think he's getting it down in Toronto here. I think he has great respect for pinball. He's the leadership of this group. I get last year was a bad year, but we've won 2 Grey Cups in 3 years. I don't think his team needs a complete rebuild just yet. I think Winton McManus could sign in the Argos before this episode even airs.
The only thing I will say is usually when the Argos sign these players, they do a big marketing run. So I don't think it's going to be. Last year it was done during the tampering window. So we'll see if we start seeing cryptic toothpick posts on the Argos social media. which I'm just looking now, as Dan said that, in case something's came out, but I haven't seen, there's nothing out right now about Winton
Darn, the
McManus.
Argos need to do better marketing too.
I will
Or
say the
social
Argos
media
do
is
great
great.
social media work.
Social media is fine, yeah, but like that's not even like that's just too oversaturated now. Not to get into marketing talk, but like I feel like you need to do a little bit extra other than social media.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
definitely. The Argos, yeah, they've been a little quiet since they did sign some guys from college. They did extend Cameron Judge recently.
That was a big one.
They made some interesting moves, bringing into another defensive lineman who used to play in the NFL, who also played for the Riders, in Dakota Sheepley. So let's see what happens there. But I think for McManus, it's either Toronto, BC, or Ottawa. And it'll be interesting to see if he goes to Ottawa. I know Ryan Dinwiddie says he wants to change the culture in Ottawa, and Winton McManus and Ryan Dinwiddie had a good rapport. So maybe this is where we start to see a bit of a culture shift in Ottawa. But back to the top 10 list here. I believe AJ Allen did actually re-sign very recently, but let's talk about Malik Carney. One of the best defensive linemen from the Rough Riders, was towards the top three in sacks. I wonder, do the Edmonton Elks move on from Jake Ceresna and bring in Malik Carney? I almost said Mark Carney. I don't think they're going to get the Prime Minister of Canada.
No, they got him to the Grey Cup, but I don't think he's going to go on the field.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about my take there? Malik Carney heading to Edmonton.
I can see it. I really could. Edmonton's really needs to fill in Jake Ceresna. That's a huge spot, right? So if we're gonna spend some money, get someone big in there. So yeah, I could definitely see Carney.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's a tank, right? Like, I love Malik Carney. That's the other name for me out of this top 10, and these lists are from Third Down Nation. That's kind of the other big one. Like, obviously there's some really good players. Like CJ Revis is great. Like I said,
AJ Allen.
Duquois out of Montreal. That's an interesting one too. A guy that can play DB or middle linebacker, a real multi-tool kind of guy. There's someone, if Toronto doesn't sign Winton McManus, I could see them bringing in Duquois as kind of a utility guy that can play in any spot on the defense.
Well, Montreal, if Toronto doesn't sign McManus, I think we have, I don't know why he's not on this list. I think we have to get Holloway out of BC.
He is on the list. He's just further down, good sir.
Really? Why is he further down?
It's a weird thing with Micah Holloway. I think what hurts him and a lot of times in these things is that he never seems to be able to stick with one team.
Yeah.
Like, it's a guy that's moved around a lot. And I mean, the CFL moves around a lot in general, but usually players that are as talented as Micah Holloway stay on teams longer than they do. But moving on now to the next 10. So this is where Trey Ford was actually at number 12. But I kind of argued, I thought he was a top 10. Dan, you disagreed. But this is where we start to see the more and more quarterbacks. So I would say this is the year of the backup quarterback when it comes to free agency.
I agree with that.
Like, between Trey Ford, Jake Mayer, Taylor Powell, these are all guys these are probably your best quarterbacks on the market. So out of those three quarterbacks of Trey Ford, Jake Mayer, or Taylor Powell, call me crazy. I don't agree with Third Down Nation's ranking here a little bit, and I actually think Taylor Powell is the best quarterback available out of these three. Well, I love Taylor Powell. I know Hamilton wants to re-sign him, but the deal hasn't been done yet, and I think Taylor Powell's a phenomenal player.
I don't agree with this list, and I can't say I'm saying it because I've criticized him in the past, but I think out of this, Jake Mayer's the best one. I don't know if it's because of his extra year with Trevor Harris that was the difference maker, but I feel like last year he grew like a lot. And I feel like you could almost have him as a starter next year. I think he improved that much.
Wow. Okay. What's your thoughts on this, Sam?
I feel like Drew Brown is like the weakest out of all the starters in the league right now.
Okay.
So maybe Ottawa goes after one of these guys like Jake Mayer.
You know what? Jake Mayer be a nice fit in Ottawa, actually.
I can see
because
that. Yeah.
it doesn't look like Ottawa's re-signing Dustin Crum, who we'll get to later down in the list.
Really down.
So you need someone to take over the backup role, and I think it might help Drew Brown having a veteran and a backup who's had an up and down career, who can kind of help him through the ebbs and flows. Yeah, actually, I think Jake Mayer in Ottawa is a great take.
Well, I forgot to mention it in the top 10, but I think the Argos are going to bring back Jake Suezna.
Again, I don't think they will, but time will tell. I think Toronto has a really good defensive line, and I think they're going to spend the money elsewhere.
Marketing money.
Yeah, marketing money.
Well, actually, I look at, when you talk Toronto for a second, I look at number 11 on this list, and that's who I think Toronto should go get. Go get Greg Bell. He really improved as the year went on for Hamilton.
He did.
1,000-yard guy last year. He's got really good speed. Get Kadeem Carey, coach this guy into being an elite running back in the CFL.
Yeah.
Running game. Toronto had the worst running game in football, and it wasn't even close.
That's why that's a bad year. I really think that was the missing piece.
They were too one-dimensional. I mean, obviously in the CFL, there's more passing anyways, but you got to have at least a threat.
Well, 100%. You look at Argos have won the Grey Cups in the past. Like, you look at AJ Ouellette, you look at Ricky Williams, you look at, like, Avery. Like, they've always had amazing running back. You look at Andrew Harris. You know, they always had that franchise running back player. And that was the piece that was missing this past year, in my opinion.
So another name on this list, though, that's interesting is we have this is where we're starting to get into some really good receivers. So we have Curly Gittens Jr., Dominic Rhymes, and Dejon Brissett.
And Jonathan Moxey's so good, he's on there twice.
Oh, exactly. That's how good of a deep. Oh, okay. But look, we look at these guys, and out of these receivers, I mean, I think Brissett will leave Toronto because I think Matal's kind of replaced what Brissett does. And I think they want to leave more room for Herslow. And the numbers just don't fit if Toronto wants to fix the defensive issues while keeping two starting quarterbacks. I think the receiving core is where they're going to lose guys in Tavares Daniels and Dejon Brissett. So where does Brissett go?
Well, could we see Brissett going actually, call me crazy. I think he's going to go like Ticats. Brissett has a big home in Mississauga, so it's still close to his home. I say big home. I don't mean he has a mansion, but I mean he's really set in the community.
How much is he making, eh?
Yeah, that's not what I meant. So he owns the CFL. Don't know. I think he has a big community.
I think got all that TV money from TSN, eh?
Yeah. I think he has a big community in Mississauga. I think he really wants to stay close to home. And then Ticats did lose Tim White. And yeah, Tim White dropped some key balls, as Lane's pointed out numerous of times. But that's what Jacob pointed out. He's also had 1,000+ yards. And you can't just lose a 1,000-yard guy and replace it with nobody.
No,
right?
And he was their guy for a few seasons before Kenny Lawler came in.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I think the hope in Hamilton is that Keandre Smith will take another step forward and Bridges will have a bounce back year. But Dan, actually, I like your take to a point, but I think he's going somewhere else.
Where do you think he's going?
The Edmonton Elks. If they are losing Curly Gittens Jr., they need another Canadian receiver to fix their ratio. I don't think Curly Gittens Jr. is going back to Edmonton, and I think Dejon Brissett will be the guy in Edmonton. I think you need, let's be honest, Edmonton didn't really have good receivers last year. Their best one was Julian Grant. You need at least 2, if not 3, really good receivers for a team to make a good playoff push. I actually think that Edmonton, with the way that defense is, if that offense can score 25 points a game, they'll be one of the best teams in the league. So make your top 3 receivers, Austin Mack, Dejon Brissett.
Yeah, that was a good pickup.
Julian Grant. Now Edmonton's receiving core, plus you have Justin Rankin, who's a really good receiving back. and you have a young receiver in Victor.
And he's got some explosives too, Rankin.
Oh my gosh, Justin Rankin is a game. People talk about game managers and game breakers. He's a game breaker. So
100%.
you add in a guy like Dejan Brissett, he works really well with your ratio. I think this works out beautifully.
Now here's a crazy question. Do we see Brissett getting re-signed in Toronto? I mean, he was a big piece last year.
I don't, just because I think Toronto is so deep at receiver, even if losing Brissett and Daniels, because I don't think Daniels is coming back either. You have Coxie, Herslow, Mittal, Ungerer. Do I really need Brissett? He had a great year. But Demonte Coxie, before he got hurt, was the best receiver in the CFL. Then Jake Herslow comes in, and he leads the CFL in touchdowns from when he started to the end. The guy's literally hurdling Herslow. I think Jake Herslow and Coxie are your two guns. And then you have your two really solid Canadian receivers in Mittal and Ungerer. And what excites me about Mittal, I don't think we're anywhere close to his ceiling. Ryan Dinwiddie was quoted saying Kevin Mittal was this good and he doesn't even know the full route tree yet. Can you imagine once he got every route down? The guy only had 4 drops all year.
See, call me crazy. I think you could lose underwear. I mean,
Ungerer, don't lose your underwear.
I would be okay.
You're gonna call me out for actually putting 2 names on the graphic. You're getting called out for talking about his underwear.
I don't like wearing underwear, so I'm okay with that. Okay. But it's like, I like my socks.
I didn't think you would drop that comment on the air.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Oh, you never know what I'm going to say, right? But, I think you could lose underwear.
Subscribe to our channel.
How do you say his name again?
Ungerer.
Thank you.
Ungerer.
I think Ungerer, he's been an Argo the past, 3 seasons or so. And he's done
Dan, how are you messing up his name? He's an Argo.
I always want to say underwear. But I think you could lose him and keep Brissett. I think Brissett's someone you gotta keep.
It's a numbers game. Ungerer's contract is more affordable. Mittal is ready to take that next step. You have Mittal, you have Coxie.
I agree on both.
I think you can lose Brissett and use that money to bring in more defense, which we'll get into more defensive players later.
Why have we not signed McManus yet?
Because you already have Judge and Pickett at linebackers.
So why not have the best in the league?
Because your DBs are terrible. You can't have everything.
Oh yeah,
it's a salary cap world. Look how the Florida Panthers are so dominant in the NHL because they found a way to have all 3 phases: offense, defense, and goaltending. Toronto and the Argos last year, the DBs just were not good enough, right? Besides McFadden and Franklin, the rest of them were pretty sus. So that's an area that needs a lot of addressing. And don't get me wrong, like Murray's a great player. I mean, Moxie, so great. I put him there twice, as Dan liked to point out. But I think Toronto is going to be looking. There's some guys further down this list that I think Toronto is going to be looking at really aggressively for the defense. But I'm curious what you guys think about Dominic Rhymes not re-signing in Calgary yet. And Calgary might have also lost Alford to, Damian Alford to the NFL. Mm-hmm. So Calgary, we don't know about oh my gosh, the guy who broke his leg. Whatever. There's one of their best receivers.
Bengal?
Pardon?
Bengal?
Yes, Bangleton. Not Bagel, but Bangleton.
Bangleton, yeah.
He broke his leg last year, and we don't know how good he will be coming back. Dominic Rhymes was a 1,000-yard guy for Calgary, or just under. I mean, VA have great chemistry. I'm shocked Calgary hasn't re-signed Dominic Rhymes yet.
Me too. That's a huge shocker.
So where does he go?
BC.
So you think Calgary for sure is not going to keep?
I don't know why, but BC was in my head as well.
Yeah.
Well, he had a lot of success in BC. Eberhard hasn't re-signed in BC yet either, which we'll get to that later in the list. So they may be trying.
Man, who wouldn't want to go play with Nathan Rourke though?
Dan,
literally.
Dan would not want to go play with Nathan Rourke.
Hey, you know what? I gotta say, I haven't liked Nathan Rourke for a long time, but last year was the first year I felt like, okay, he stepped it up. Did he win the Grey Cup? No. Did he make it a Grey Cup? No. But he wasn't a complete disaster.
He's had one bad year.
Right.
And that was when he came back last year.
Yeah, it was terrible last year. But 2 years, I should say. But last year, I thought he played very well. I'm starting.
He played really well in 2022 as well before the NFL opportunities.
He did as well.
Now, it was interesting with Rourke, though. I know this is a little off topic, but Rourke wouldn't completely say he would not return to the NFL. So I still think that might scare BC a little bit, and that could be the reason why there's rumors about Trey Ford.
True.
Yeah, he just signed that extension though, so it's like, well,
personally, I think he needs to give up on the NFL dream. It's not happening. The NFL does not respect CFL talent. I don't know why, but they don't.
Especially Canadian CFL talent.
Yeah. But no, I think Rhymes would be a great fit in BC. You know, him and Rourke have instant chemistry. I'm trying to think who else could really.
I honestly wish that Curtis Rourke would come to the CFL because he's just sitting as the third stringer for San Francisco. Like he doesn't move. Like if he doesn't move next year, even to the backup, just come to the CFL. It's the same thing with Taylor Algersma. Why are you going to go to the UFL? There's no eyes on the UFL. It's terrible.
I think he's going there because he wants to play, and he knows in Winnipeg he won't get any playing time. Because remember, Winnipeg drafted him, so they own his rights. And I think he knows in Winnipeg with Zach Collaros, he's not going to get starting. He's not.
I think once Zach retires, I could see him.
So I think he's going to play in the UFL, XFL, whatever it's called, for a year or two until Collaros retires, and then I think he'll come to the CFL. That's my take on that. Yeah, and I'm excited for when he does. But
because those two are again two marketable quarterbacks for these teams because they're both Canadian.
Good point. Yeah, good.
He was phenomenal in the Vanier Cup a couple years ago. But I wonder.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say he was great in he got Laurier to the Vanier Cup.
Yeah,
and I think he got overmatched by Laval's defense.
True. Well, Laval's a hell of a team.
He did win the Heck Creighton Award, which is basically Canada's version of the Heisman Trophy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Through the Heisman. So I'm curious though, if Dominic Rhymes leaves Calgary, does Curly Gittins Jr. come to Calgary to help with your ratio? Canadian receiver can still easily put up about 650, 700 yards a season. I think, he adds an element of the quick game, but he still has enough of a deep threat that he can be a difference maker. If Calgary doesn't bring back Dominic Rhymes, could you see them trying to bring in Curly Gittins Jr. to fill that role?
Yeah, I could see that.
I think you have to replace him if he doesn't sign.
Well, that too, right? I mean, I don't know. I still wonder if he'll come back to Toronto. I feel like he was a great piece in Toronto. No. And I understand we had to trade someone good to get
Serezna
here. But I feel like if we're going to lose Brissett, you can't just have 3 receivers.
You have 4, though. Toronto has 4 really good receivers.
Well, that's
Hoaxy, Herslow, Mattal.
Yeah, I feel like for Toronto, right?
Toronto does not need receivers.
I feel like for Toronto, and you mentioned this too, figure out the run game, get Chad Kelly back and healthy, and no off the field
Either
stuff.
Get Chad Kelly back or give up on Chad Kelly. That's my thing.
Right. And don't treat Nick Arbuckle like a terrible person because he won you the Grey Cup a few years ago.
Yeah. I love Nick Arbuckle.
And he seems like the nicest guy of life.
Literally.
I'd let him take.
Dan, is your phone next to your mic again?
Nope.
Hearing that noise.
That was my mic stand that just almost fell off.
Oh, how dare you. Listeners. Audio listeners are like, what's going on here?
But no, it's just when you look at, I'm just pulling up Toronto's receiving core now. I'm attempting to. And
have they fixed the CFL website yet, or is that new site not up yet?
The new site's not up yet. So I'm just jumping into an awesome spreadsheet that friend of the program, Rick from Hamilton Sports Central, sent us. And
we got some out of Sam, Jacob.
Oh, I
Sam probably
can't.
got a kick out of that.
I don't have. I'll ask him for it. But when we look at Toronto receiving core, you also have Mackay Polk.
Oh,
Jeez.
I forgot about
You
it.
don't
Another
How
one.
did you
Dan,
know
what are
about
you
it?
saying we need
You don't need
receivers in
another
Toronto?
receiver in Toronto.
Okay,
You
I
need a
get
back,
it. I
bro.
get it.
You need
I
a
get it.
back.
You need a running
get
back because you're running. Now, mind you, you did sign Peyton Logan.
Yeah,
who-
he's good.
Rick is in the spreadsheet right now. Hi, Rick. But
Just
But
message
you
him in the
need-
comments. Say, hey, you want to join?
Yeah, do it. Message him.
but I think Toronto is more looking at defensive backs, like maybe even a Kobe Williams. He's a really solid guy, or a Moxie. Like I think there's other players that
Which
Toronto
Moxie
needs.
will we get though? 17 or 18?
17. Got to get the better one.
Okay, yeah.
But no, I'm
In
just
a
looking to
perfect
see.
world.
I'm curious to see what Toronto does. But Dan, it's kind of like when people say Toronto should get another.
Hey, you're right. You're right. I don't know how I forgot about Polk. I love him, but my mind just slipped. So yeah, you're right.
Now, Mackay Polk was hot and cold last year in Toronto. We did have some good moments, but he is.
Yeah, but you gotta keep
Polk
him.
and Kelly is a deadly combination, and we all know that.
But
So
you
Toronto,
have Polk,
Dan, I understand why you like Brissett, but there's no room for him.
No, I get it now because if you have Polk, Herschel, Coatsy, Motel, and even Underwear, like you guys
Again.
Under.
Underwear, like,
Think
Underwear
like
the
hungry.
third. I
Like,
know
think
he's the
like-
third.
Think
But-
like grr.
Like
grr.
yeah, grr.
He's
But
an
like if you
idiot.
have those, so that's probably the top 5 receivers of any CFL core, right? Can we all agree the Argos have the best receivers in the league?
That's why I'm saying the money you were going to pay Dijon Brissett,
I
pay
get it
Greg
now.
Bell.
I
Pay
get
Greg
it now.
Bell. He's
Yeah,
young.
or like pay it on the defense.
Oh,
or
AJ
put on the
Olette.
defense, one or the other.
Bring
Like
Olette
cornerback.
back.
He
don't
doesn't
think
want
Olette
to
wants
come
to come
back.
here.
That's the thing.
Well, make him come back. Give him
Dan,
hot
Dan,
dogs.
in a league with a salary cap, you can't offer him the money to where like he can't refuse. All right,
No,
like
I
that's
know,
not
I
an
know, I
option.
know. Speaking
Right?
of hot dogs, do you know when Phil Kessel signed in Las Vegas, they gave him a limited hot dog supply in the contract?
I did not.
Yeah, because
Well, someone offered Bo Bichette free steak for life if he signed back in Toronto.
Yeah,
But I just look, Greg
be
Bell,
silly.
I think might be your best bang for your buck running back available.
I get
He
that.
averaged
I get
5.5 yards per carry. He really
He had
was
a
a
good
difference.
season, Hamilton.
He did. It took him a bit to get going, but once he
Once
got going,
and
phenomenal.
he was good at a playoff game too,
So,
if I remember correctly.
and Toronto, let's be honest, they're not. I don't think they're bringing back McMahon.
No, I wouldn't bring him back.
So, I think it is time. I think we're going to see a new.
He's not even in the
core.
top 20, McMahon. I mean,
I think we're seeing a new running core in Toronto, but
You
I think
have
we've
to.
kind of. I think we've touched base on everyone we want to talk about in the 11 to 20 section.
Yeah, well, about
Woo!
number 19 there.
Dan, I would like you to try to pronounce that name.
That's why I said 19. I can pronounce that.
Dan, you have to say the name for our audio
long,
listeners.
long go.
Close enough. Again, Toronto, at least for Toronto's sake, I think for teams looking to improve defensive line, you're looking Edmonton if they're losing Seresna. I think BC's defensive line, it basically all runs through one player, so they might want to upgrade. And Ottawa's defensive line was pretty bad. So
How do you say his name, Jacob?
Belondo.
Belondo.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Don't know.
Oh, I know he's attempted.
No,
I attempted.
I don't know
though.
Belondo.
but look, why don't we
Sam
go to our
said it.
next
Was it
group?
Sam?
No, I just said I don't know Belondo.
Oh, I don't know Belondo.
Okay, so this group.
Whoa, I know who I want.
Okay, this is the group that really excites me.
I know who
I
I
think
want.
this 21 to 30, this is your bang for your buck group. These are guys that are going to be phenomenal players for the price. Mind you, we did
Amos.
talk about the Argos defensive line. They might be losing Anthony Lanier. So
That's a
I
big
think
one.
I think they're okay because they got Hendricks and Lanier. I think Hendricks is better than Lanier. But this is where you're getting some bang for your buck. McLeod Bethel Thompson is a quarterback that I think it's a risk.
Yeah.
He is 36. But if
Which
you,
is not old.
No,
Okay, Dan.
no, it's not. No.
For football, it's old.
Yes.
But you
Well,
have this is where you start to see
not
some
full
really
podcast.
exciting defensive players. So James Vaughn, phenomenal defensive lineman. Deshaun Amos has not re-signed yet in Hamilton.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
Famous Amos.
And you don't like the Tie Cats.
No, I don't. That's why I'm
So
back.
he
to
was
the
an
Argos.
Argo before he was a Tie Cat, Mr. Sam.
Wow.
I loved him as an
Phenomenal
Argonaut.
defensive back. I will say, like, this is a guy, if he's willing to come back to Toronto, I'd be happier to pick and poop to get him.
Amos?
Yes.
Now, does he play the same position as McManus?
No, he's a defensive back. McManus is a linebacker.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah,
Very
Well,
good.
the Argos need defensive backs, don't they? So
Desperately.
Oh, I gotta sign him. Fast, probably.
See, Dan, no dishing out the rest of your salary cap money to
This is
Ouellette
why,
if
Dan, you
he's not
can't,
gonna
as an
sign.
Argo, you can't go get 15,000 receivers.
Yeah, okay, I get that now.
They
So
have more what they have to do with already.
I guess that's the number one thing for the Argos to do is get a running back, and number two is to bring back Deshaun Amos. Don't we agree
Now, there's
on
other
that?
good DBs available.
Yeah,
But
I want Amos.
another
I love
name
him.
that really jumps out on me is I cannot believe Hamilton released Santos Knox. I am shocked.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is my only
crazy.
thing. It makes me nervous about them maybe taking a run at Winton McManus, considering they just released Knox.
Yeah, I wonder why they
But
did
I think
that.
Santos Knox is an absolute beast.
I
And
know.
anyone who's looking for a linebacker should take a run at this guy.
Oh, for sure. Wow.
I don't understand. I don't know what Hamilton's doing by releasing this guy. I think this guy's a tank.
Call me crazy, but could you see Toronto taking a stab at Standback?
Yeah.
I could
Stand
see
back,
that.
I think in Toronto would be a nice fit, actually. And
I
maybe then
could
Ottawa
really
goes
see
for a guy
that.
like Greg
He's
Bell.
really good a few years ago, man.
I really liked him back in BC days. He was great.
Well, even like Montreal, he won the Grey Cup.
Oh,
with
Montreal, that's
remember?
right. Yes, I'm
He was
thinking BC
phenomenal
was
in Montreal.
Yeah.
He was good for BC too, like in that year.
By the way,
after.
William Standback still did average just under 5 yards a carry, 700 yards in 17 games, with only 147 carries.
Yeah.
So to put in perspective, AJ Ouellette had 1,200 yards, but in 248 carries. Greg Bell had 1,038 with 184 carries.
Mm.
So I'm very interested to see with a William Standback in the right system, and maybe Toronto is the right fit.
Yeah. Call me crazy. I think Standback's the one I would take a stab at. Because, like, you probably get him for a good price, and then with the money left over, you can bring back Deshaun Amos.
My only concern of William Standback, and I'm just double checking his age. I believe he's a little bit older. See, William Standback is 31. That's the wrong age of 30 for a running back.
Whatever.
However, I think if you could get him on a good deal on a 1 year,
It's like my dating profile. Age is just a number.
that was terrifying. But like Greg Bell's only 27, right? But William Standback, I think Ottawa is going to go. They're just sticking with Anababoye. I think they feel he's ready to take that next step. He's actually the one Argo I was really upset last year when he left. I mean, all the power to him. Like, he's a great, phenomenal human being. So is the Anababoye family.
So
But he was the guy I was like, man, this sucks, because I think he is so good.
Yeah. So does he get
But-
along with Dinwiddie then?
He must, because he re-signed.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm curious, though, do you guys see Saskatchewan trying to bring back Anthony Lanier?
Yeah.
Improve that defensive line. Make it, if you're going to lose Malik Carney, you got to find a affordable replacement.
I can't believe the Argos let him walk.
Remember, though, the Argos got Hendricks back.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Younger,
Yeah.
better statistics. He's faster.
Yeah, good point.
Or does Calgary take a stab at Lanier to go with Flo and then Lanier, because Hicks might be going to the NFL? So I think Lanier, that's why I said I think this middle group is the group that I'm very interested about because I think you have a lot of really good talent.
I think it's
Robustelli is another
excellent
wide
value in this
receiver I
group.
really like.
Mm.
So back to Lanier. No, where do you guys see Anthony Lanier going?
I could see
Eli.
I could see Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
He's got
They had a
history there.
really good pass rush. I feel like they had some good pressure on that defense, so it'd be good to keep that intact.
Oh, 100%. Like,
And
and
if
you
you're
have
missing
the
corner, you
oldest,
got to replace it.
you got the oldest quarterback in Trevor Harris, as I think is arguably the best quarterback in the CFL. But you do have the oldest quarterback, so you have
Best pocket passer probably
he's defensive
because he
line
gets rid of the ball really quickly, which is really
He
good.
does. Trevor Harris, most accurate, but one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football.
Yeah, it's a
But
really good line, right?
I could see. I think Lanier's going to go west. I think he'll either go Saskatchewan, Calgary, or Edmonton because Edmonton again losing Jake Serezna.
But Edmonton spent so much money on defense last year, and with Queston, I know it's the same family that owns it, but this is the first offseason we're going to see without the owner, rest in peace. So I don't know if they're going to be super aggressive.
Well, they've already made Austin Mack one of the highest paid receivers in the CFL. So I think they're going to be aggressive.
How much
but
more
to
can
your
they go?
point, Dan, if they're spending that much, if they feel the offense is what needs the most attention, and I'm saying they need to go get another receiver as well, does that mean that instead maybe they're going to trust some of the guys that they had last year on the offense, on the defensive line when they were injuries? And you know what?
That's
The
what I
defense was
think of
not the issue
Edmonton.
last year.
That's what I think of Edmonton, because if they didn't have those injuries, I think Edmonton would have made the playoffs.
So maybe Edmonton, to bring in another receiver, they look into Robustelli.
Why not have Lanier go to Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Why? Because they lost Big Hill.
Yeah, but Big Hill and Lanier play different positions.
Well, my bad, but
that's okay. Big Hill's a linebacker, Lanier's a defensive lineman. I don't see him going to Winnipeg personally. I think Winnipeg's got a good defensive line. I mean, you still have Willie Jefferson. He re-signed for another year.
Yeah.
And if Winnipeg, if they're going to bring in defensive linemen, I think they're going to look for some younger guys, and Lanier's on the wrong side of 30.
True.
So, because, yeah, when we look at Winnipeg's defensive line, it's pretty decent. But maybe. I do think he's going west, though. I don't think Lanier is going to stay east. Anyone? I mean, McEwen's a really good offensive lineman as well. James Valder, the defensive lineman, phenomenal. I don't know about you guys. I think McLeod Bethel Thompson's not going to sign anywhere. I know they have him in the top 30, but
I hate to say it.
You don't think any team signs him as a backup?
I don't. No, I think he's going to retire.
I think with Bethel Thompson, I don't think anyone's going to resign him right away. I think someone's going to sign him if there's an injury partway through the year. Because his numbers, he didn't win the game for Montreal, which is a factor for sure.
He won one. He ripped Saskatchewan apart.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's still got another year in the tank.
It was weird.
I still think he's got another year in the tank. I really do. I know maybe his stats are not as strong as years past, but I think he's got another year in the tank.
Okay. So where does he go?
I don't know where, but,
where does he go then?
Maybe the Argos bring him back if Kelly doesn't come back.
You already have Arbuckle, Kelly, Daggy.
Daggy was garbage, bro.
He was not that bad.
Oh my gosh, you cannot bring Daggy back.
Actually, I'm curious, since we have Sam, who's a big college football fan, since we're talking Argo quarterbacks here a little bit. Sam, do you remember Max Dungan was the runner-up for the Heisman a couple years ago?
Jeez. Couple years ago?
Dunggan.
Where do he play?
That's a great question. The Argos have him now.
I don't remember his name being in any sort of Heisman conversation.
Yeah, he was the runner-up for the Heisman a couple years ago. So he was the runner-up in 2022. Finished second in the voting behind Caleb Williams.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Caleb Williams is incredible. So would have not said it last.
So he's another one too that the Argos have in their quarterback system. So Dan, just to answer about MBT, I don't think.
Okay,
I don't really see him going. The year he almost won the Heisman, by the way, he had this Matt Dungan had 3,698 yards, 32 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, and also rushed for 423 yards and 9 rushing TDs.
I don't doubt that he wasn't. I just don't know his name. Like I've never heard
the most votes of a runner-up since Tunga Loga.
Oh yeah,
Tua. Oh, Tua's a fraud.
Yeah,
I am just curious though for the but Dan, when you say Argos, I think the Argos plus they have Tucker Horn. I don't really think they need.
He looked okay.
I actually don't think Jared Dagey is a terrible third string. I think if the Argos bring in another quarterback, it's a short yardage specialist because that was a huge problem for them the last 2 years.
Right.
The bigger question for Toronto, which we'll get into later, will be who actually should be the starter in Toronto. Because Chad Kelly and Nick Arbuckle, that's a tough one to figure out between those two guys.
I'm shocked they're keeping both.
But was there anyone else on that graphic you guys wanted to go over, or should we move on?
Yeah, I feel like if Toronto was moving on from Nick Arbuckle, like if they're going with Chad Kelly and they were going to move on from Nick Arbuckle, why not go to Ottawa or something? Like go with Dinwiddie. But the thing with that is that it wasn't Dinwiddie the one that was like throwing him under the bus and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe that's not.
The thing is, though, with Arbuckle, I think his best chance at being a starter next year is actually in Toronto because you don't know what Chad Kelly will be like.
Right, exactly.
After basically breaking his leg.
Yeah.
So
like I said, I hope he comes back.
I hope he does too. Like, I mean, but I'm just saying, well, personally, I actually would have cut Chad Kelly if I was Toronto and I just would have stuck with Arbuckle. But Arbuckle in 15 games, finished with 4,370 yards.
Dan likes Chad Kelly too much. Look at the jersey.
Oh, I know. I just look
I
at
like Arbuckle too, though.
In a cap world, I think there's
if I had the money, I would rock our Arbuckle jersey.
I think in a cap world, I could take Kelly's money. He's the second highest paid player in the CFL, only behind Nathan Rourke.
New Era should sponsor our show.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? It could be.
It is what it is with Toronto, with Kelly in Toronto. He's staying, and that's just the way she goes. But moving on to our next group of players. And this is some more interesting players, right? You have Derek Garrett, who the Argos recently cut. Dalton Schoen, who phenomenal receiver, but has had trouble staying healthy. Tommy Neal.
Wow, that's a nice.
Lorenzo Malden.
Dalton Schoen's pretty good.
Eberhardt, Micah
I'm
Holloway.
upset that we cut Paris. I've been a Paris fan for years.
It comes down to money, my friend.
Wow.
So when you talk about Toronto, if they get another quarterback, this is the Justin Crum. If I'm Toronto and I want to spend the money on a short yardage guy,
but one back,
this is the guy that I'm going to go and get.
Yeah, but only for short yardage. I wouldn't trust him anywhere else, to be honest.
Mind you, his numbers weren't that bad last year.
No, but he kind of reminds me of Trey Ford in the fact that he's just not polished, really.
I like fair enough.
I like his athletic ability.
A nice backup to bring in to a team that's maybe looking to have a new starter in maybe a year or two.
Dalton Schoen, 32. My gosh,
I feel like there's a lot of upside with Crum.
Dustin Crum last year finished with 1,771 yards passing.
Now the question is, what kind of Crum is he? Is he like a cookie crumb or like?
Cookie.
By the way, he also ran the ball 9 yards,
be quiet.
11 touchdown rushes, averaging 5.5 yards a carry as the quarterback running the ball. So,
Dan and I are making a cookie run on Tuesday. It seems.
Oh yes, what's that place called? Stenosis?
No, like Insomnia, I think.
Insomnia. That's it. Insomnia.
Yeah.
But no, this is another group of players, though, and it's crazy to think we're in our mid-tier now of like free agents, and these are a lot of really high-end free agents.
It is crazy.
Like Micah Allway is someone that always is towards the top in tackles. Lorenzo Malden, this is someone if Toronto was going to want to add a little bit more to the defensive line, this is the guy that I'd go get. Very affordable. Won Defensive Player of the Year 3 years ago. Can be a leader in the defensive group, and I think you could get him for a pretty good price.
Yeah. I can see
Again,
that.
I don't think Toronto necessarily needs the help in defensive end line, but if you're going to bring someone in.
I always would have kept Paris. I was sad over losing him.
Yeah, they released Eric Parrish a couple days ago.
I know they did. I'm like, wow. I think the best value on this list is Tommy Neal. He was a big part of that Saskatchewan Grey Cup. I'm shocked Saskatchewan's not keeping him, but again, they had a lot of injuries, right? You look at
but they had a ton of like pending free agents. Like you can't keep them all, right? Like,
no, 100%, right? Like I get it. Like I talked about it before with Hamilton losing Tim White. You gotta put a big name in there. And I can see Tommy Neal being that value signing and becoming a big name in Hamilton.
Tommy Neal had a real breakout year last year. He only played in 13 games, didn't even start in all of them, and did put up 535 yards and 5 touchdowns, including a critical touchdown in the Western Final that got them to the Grey Cup.
That Western Final was really fun to watch.
That was a great game. Wow.
I think Tommy Neal in the right situation could be a 7 to 8 50-yard receiver, and maybe Hamilton's the right situation. Dan, I actually agree with you on that.
Yay!
I think Hamilton would be great for Tommy.
Dan.
Yeah, I got one.
I'm very surprised.
I got it.
I'm shocked.
You can't get them all.
Toronto should bring him back.
What is it, Jacob?
I'm surprised you didn't want Toronto to bring him back.
No, I realize that we can't, Will. We're too good. We're too stacked.
Now, another receiver on this list, though, and I think the only reason why
those are good problems to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they are. But I think the only reason why he's not top 10 is because of his injury history is Dalton Schoen. Where is Dalton Schoen next year? He's not going to Winnipeg. They brought in Tim White to replace him.
Yeah.
I guess
where does Dalton
injury
problems?
I know. Calgary.
Okay.
Because he got to replace Alford, right?
Very similar archetype.
Yeah,
now as a reminder, though, in the last 2 seasons, Dalton Schoen has only played 5 games in the last 2 years. I mean, 8 games
that's
in the last 2 years.
Probably other than Winnipeg wanting like a number 1 guy, it's probably one of the reasons why they moved on because of the injuries.
Because when the 1 year he played his first 2 seasons, 2022 he had 1,441 yards and 16 touchdowns. 23 and 16 games had 1,222 yards and 10 touchdowns. This guy could be an impact receiver when he stays healthy. Actually, maybe even Hamilton. Talk about how Hamilton has one of the best training staff in the league. Maybe they can help him stay healthy with better management. But, Dan, I think Calgary would be a great fit, especially if they're not going to bring back Dominic Rhymes. You might be able to get Dalton Schoen on a more affordable 1-year prove-it deal.
Which shocks me they're not putting back Dominic Rhymes, but hey.
Now, maybe they still will. Just because these guys are allowed to go talk to other teams doesn't mean they won't end up re-signing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see with Mr. Dalton Schoen. Dan, I'm very proud you aren't saying Toronto for another receiver.
Dan's had a lot of takes today that Jacob's agreed with. This is surprising.
It's a weird episode.
Yeah,
Dan, you came with you got your A game today, dude.
Oh, thank you. I've tried. I really hope Toronto brings back Whitten McManus, but if not, you gotta get Allway. That's the big value one.
Why do you No, Sam, you gave him credit too early. Dan. You already have Judge and Pickett. Why do you want another linebacker when the DBs are terrible? And the offensive line was pretty bad last year. Devon Tate would be more of a guy that
I think you need. I look at the Argos that won the Grey Cup. They had 3 dominant linebackers.
And a good O-line is the other key to a good running game, eh? You could have AJ Ouellette back there, but the offensive line, if they can't stop anything, he's not going to go anywhere.
No, I know. That's true too. No,
So I
don't
just
know,
feel like
just
Dan, I get your point on Micah Alway, but I don't think Toronto's going to spend. I think if McManus walks, they stick with the linebacking crew the way it is.
nah, it's not good enough.
I wonder about Micah Alway.
I feel it's in a better spot than the DBs.
Much better.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Micah Alway. How about Micah Alway to Ottawa?
Yeah. Surprised none of us is really talking Montreal yet this episode.
Montreal, I don't think they're going to do much.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Montreal's pretty happy with where their team's at.
They gotta be really upset if they lost Austin Mack, though. I'm shocked about that.
Honestly, I get why they did it,
Right,
though,
but I don't even feel like Austin Mack got used a lot. Like
he didn't last year. And you have Tyson Philpott, Cole Speaker, Tyler Sneed.
Philpott's your deep guy. Like he is the explosive.
You don't really
receiver.
need Austin Mack in Montreal, so they're going to take that cap space. Remember, too, they cut Darnell Sankey, so maybe they go for Micah Alway to replace Sankey.
Right.
Yeah, actually, Micah Alway would be a great fit in Montreal. Really fits their style of defense.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Like Montreal has that swagger. Montreal, Micah always negative parts as he takes penalties and suspensions and stuff, and that doesn't seem to bug Montreal.
No, they don't care about Sean Lemon pretending to pee on other teams' logos.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Sean Lemon's another one that I don't think will be back.
No.
So yeah, Montreal, maybe they look into like a Micah
Lemon's not even on
Alway.
this list.
Who?
Lemon's not even on this list.
He is not.
He's too sour, dude.
Yeah. Mind you, too, when we're going over these top players, there's still a lot of other guys out there, right? Like, there's just only so many players you can really talk about.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, people will poke fun at the CFL, but you look at our top 40 list so far, it's insane how much talent is on this list.
And we still have some more phenomenal players we got to talk about here today.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But we look, I think
Dan's like, yay!
Eberhardt's a receiver I find interesting. I wonder maybe does Dominic Rhymes go to BC? Eberhardt, does he go to Calgary because he's a big play receiver? He was averaging almost 20 yards of reception last year.
Yeah,
so Aiden Eberhardt is a good fit in Calgary to go a big play VA. Also played with VA in BC a little bit in VA's tenure in BC.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's a.
I don't see Saskatchewan doing a heck of a lot this offseason either because they won the Grey Cup and they won of all those injuries.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Winnipeg and Toronto are going to spend the big bucks, I think.
Toronto's already been
they're
spending
both teams that want to get back to what they have been doing recently.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But there's an interesting one here that I want to get to as soon as my mouse remembers that it's a mouse, and it just did.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
What, does it think it's a cat?
Wireless. And these are the top returners available.
Oh, yeah, it's my boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Love you.
Guy right there.
And we know
I
for
hope
sure
Toronto brings him back.
Fletcher is not returning to Montreal because Montreal signed Devontae Dedmon on Friday.
Right.
So interesting to see. Hamilton is also not bringing back Lawrence Woods.
Oh.
So you potentially, all four of these guys may be on the move.
Alfred's not staying in Saskatchewan?
He had a lot of injury problems last year.
Wow. Okay.
So here's my take on this, and Dan's not going to like it.
Because he wants Grant back. So you
Grant,
they got my jersey book.
Okay.
Grant to Saskatchewan.
Oh. Fletcher to BC. Woods to Edmonton. Alford to Toronto. That's my take.
I could see all that. I think he got to bring Grant back. I know he didn't have the best year. I know he got injuries, but I really liked him.
Apparently he wants to stay. It just really depends on how much money.
I think he's willing to take less.
How much less?
Call me crazy. I could see Alfred going Hamilton.
Hamilton, though, I can't remember his name because it's escaping me, but they have another really good kick returner.
No,
not Isaiah Woods. Isaiah something. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Oh, the suspense.
Okay, okay, not White. They have another really good kicker. It doesn't matter. They have someone else, so I don't think Hamilton's going to replace him.
Okay.
So that's why I'm kind of thinking that like BC's kick return game wasn't great. I could see Toronto wanting to bring in Alford because I think they could get him for a pretty good price. Even James Letcher Jr., I could see him being someone that a team takes a gamble on. I would love the Argos to keep Grant. I just don't think they're going to want to pay Grant what Grant's going to want to stay in Toronto.
Yeah, but Grant to have a good year.
But Grant's won multiple Grey Cups and he's proven, so he'll get good money anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, the kick return game is interesting in the CFL because unlike the NFL, there are kick returns like pretty much all the time. So
yeah, I mean, it's a bigger deal in the CFL for sure. Just the way the rules are set up. Like,
Yeah, I love that part.
me too. Like, look at how many times, not last year, but 2 years ago, Grant literally won games with us in Toronto.
I'm also glad that like when they're taking away the Rouge, because the Rouge is being modified this year, right? So
That's
yeah,
right.
when they took that away, I'm glad that they made it so that if you kick it in the end zone, the other team gets to move up to the 40. So it means that kickers aren't going to kick it into the end zone. You're going to see a lot of kick returns.
Right, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about the new rule changes we've had here on the decks, but I think overall they're pretty good. You know, I think it's going to grow the game and make it more viewer friendly and stuff. I think that's all important.
I was
I think
just
that's
saying
what
in
they're
regards to kick returners because that's
No,
what
for
we
sure.
were-
I hear you.
But I'm curious though, do you guys feel that in the CFL you have to have a good kick returning game to win? So are these maybe some of the most valuable positions?
Yes, because not only
Yeah,
is there a lot of
100%.
kick returns, but there's a lot of punts as well. So
Yes, growing
Right.
3 downs. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's a
and even with the new rule changes, there's still going to be a lot of punts. No matter how much the commissioner says about less punts, there's still going to be a lot of punts.
Oh, there will
well.
be.
I don't know why I want less punts. Punts can be an exciting part of the game, especially the way
Exactly, especially
CFL
when they're
plays.
blocked or muffed on the other end.
Yeah,
Ooh, it's
exactly.
sloppy, but
Well,
it's
the
also
Rams
exciting.
basically didn't get to the Super Bowl because of a fumble on a punt,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally what happened.
which is
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
it
That's okay. I was
yeah.
cheering for Seattle.
So was
I'm
I.
here in Seattle. So yeah,
But I'm curious though. So we've kind of gone over with the third down nation's top 40 plus these kick returners. Do you guys agree with third down nation's order?
What about your top 50?
Oh, I didn't want to do 50 because I have something else that's a surprise, but we're gonna
Oh,
get
because
to it.
more players.
Oh, I love surprises.
We're gonna get to it. But what do you guys think of that top 40?
I don't
do we
mind
like-
it. I feel like Dan would have a better thought than me. No.
So what do you think, Dan?
I think they had the right players on the list. I'm surprised Lemon's not on the list. I guess he's controversial, but you know, he is a proven veteran that's won great cups. I mean, surprised he wasn't on there. I disagree with some of the order of the list.
Okay.
I mean, some players that are way down low is like, what? You know? But overall, they got the right players, just wrong order, in my opinion.
So then who do you think is going to be like right away it's going to get some big money?
Bring on the money.
Oh my gosh. I would say McManus if he doesn't sign the Argos.
So
Which
you're
I'm
thinking a
shocked
top
as we're
10
still
guy will
recording.
probably get top 10 money.
And I say Carney as well. Carney was a big part of winning a Grey Cup. I would say Allen. Allen's a big name guy. Oh yeah, Owett. That's the other one. AJ Owett will be probably the biggest paid players next week.
What's your thought on that, Sam?
Swesna.
The most money?
Out of those top 10, who do you think is going to get paid the most?
Carney's up on that list. Yeah. Yeah, I would say mine is probably. Well, it depends. Like, do you see the linemen get paid a lot, or is it
Not to the point of quarterbacks and receivers, but
right?
they can still make some money.
Yeah, but there aren't a lot of receivers and quarterbacks high on the list anyway. So I'm going with Carney.
Okay, I don't think that's a bad take at all.
Woo!
But now let's move on again to out of our next group. Who's going to make the most money here?
Dominic Wimes.
I think
Ryan?
Jake Mayer, if he goes to Ottawa, is their starter.
Well, I don't think he'll go
Whoa.
as their starter. I think they're gonna. I think Dinwiddie likes Drew Brown.
Then I'm doing receiver. I'm going Rhymes as well.
I'd say Greg Bell too. He's gonna
Mm.
get paid, bro.
But the question is he going to get paid more than one of the receivers?
I think he might.
You think he might, eh?
Yeah, I think he had that big of a year because at the beginning of the year he didn't play well, but at the end of it, and the playoff one Hamilton had, he was a key factor. I remember I was at that playoff game in Hamilton. I was shocked how good he was doing.
I'll give you one on this one, and I think Dejan Brissett will be the one that's going to get paid because of your Canadian ratio.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he's a guy that's going to make some real big money on this list here. So watch out for Dejan Brissett to be partying on a yacht at the Toronto waterfront when he gets paid.
I only
Jeez,
get
I don't think
yards,
any
bro.
CFL player, if you're not a quarterback,
Well, he's
can
got
afford to have that
mansion
in
in
Toronto.
Mississauga and a yacht. This guy's living life.
Now, when I look at this next group, I'm thinking Deshaun Amos is going to get paid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I find the DBs that are available this year on free agency aren't as. It's not as good of a list as it's been in years past. Besides maybe him and Dequoy. So I think Amos is one that a team's going to maybe even potentially overpay a little bit just to try to fix a hole.
I can see Stanback making a couple bucks too.
I don't know what his age though. Wrong side of 30.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I'm not going with Stanback because you said.
Maybe even Vaughters, number 22 on our list.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Lanier, he's a big one.
Yeah.
Jacob said Knox. Knox is a big one too.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, though, there's a lot of good linebackers available this year. So I'm curious to see how much the linebackers get paid.
Like, cool. That'd be good.
Yeah.
There's some big names throughout here.
On this one here, I think Micah Alway, as much as I just said, I don't know how much linebackers are getting paid. I think Alway is going to make some good money. Dalton Schoen, I actually think he might be one of your better budget contracts out of this group.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as it showed up, I was like, he might be one of them, but
I think because of the injuries, I think he's someone that might take a 1-year prove it deal.
I got it with Sam. I think he's going to get paid.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see.
I will say for me, I think the one that's going to surprise everyone's going to get paid is Tommy Neal.
Okay.
Tommy Neal was a big part of that Argos Grey Cup win in Vancouver. He was a big part of that Grey Cup win Saskatchewan. He's won back-to-back Grey Cups. I mean, I think he's going to get paid.
Okay.
I'm shocked he's not higher up the list.
So now what I want to do before we get to my surprise, which team do you think will spend the most money in free agency?
Argos.
Dan saying Argos. Sam, what do you think?
Argos, really, Dan? Huh.
Yeah, because I guess they got the money tied up in
Winnipeg.
But
Winnipeg.
Nice.
Led the league in attendance, so
Yeah, they got the money to spend. I think
I'm
the
going to
Argos.
Well, it's not
say-
even that because it's a salary cap, but I think they'd be
Good.
more willing to go towards that cap and dish out a lot of money.
Right. Well, I just think of the Argos because they were so bad last year. They got Queen House, right?
Okay, fair.
I think it will be Ottawa who spends the most. Because I think Ottawa, after having such a good year 2 years ago and then completely falling flat on their face the next year, I think they're a team that has to spend money now to get back, because you have such a passionate fan base in Ottawa and they weren't happy with last season at all. So I think Ottawa is a team that will spend a lot of money. I think Toronto will as well, but I think Ottawa will spend more because I know Toronto only had one more win than Ottawa. But I actually think that Ottawa was a better team overall. I think Toronto was a better team overall, as much as their records weren't much different. I felt Toronto were in a lot more games, so I thought Ottawa just looked really bad.
Yeah, I can see that. And Dinwiddie's going to have a lot to prove, right? Being a rookie GM and wherever.
How much are they going to let him spend, though?
I think Ottawa's going to let him spend a lot of money. I don't think Dinwiddie would have went there without being under the impression that he can spend money.
Yeah, exactly.
I just always wonder that with teams that just lose money as it is.
Well, unfortunately, about half the league loses money in the CFL, which it is getting better. I mean, the cap's going up this year.
More than that.
Revenue sharing is improved.
Yeah.
Like Saskatchewan makes money, Winnipeg makes money, and
no one else.
Hamilton makes a little bit.
I think they would under as soon as they lost the Tim Hortons naming rights to the stadium, because that was big.
I don't know yet, but the rumor is, now I can't confirm this, but I'm not going to say my source, but there's a rumor TD is going to be sponsoring the field.
Huh. Because they sponsor the new arena there downtown.
Which is owned by the same group. Both groups own that rink. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Well,
I can see
you get some of that. You get the naming rights money. That's that's good money.
Oh, 100%. Right?
Yes.
Because everyone
that's normally your biggest sponsorship you have is your naming rights to the stadium.
100%. Because everyone said, myself included, said Porter, but unfortunately you can't use Porter because you can't have an airline name because of the contract that WestJet signed with the Canadian Soccer League was brilliant. And WestJet is the official air partner of the soccer league. So when they signed,
they also are a big partner of the CFL too. WestJet.
Yes, that's true too. Yeah,
they are.
Like, haven't they sponsored Labor Day weekend?
Yeah,
them and OK Tire.
Oh, okay.
Now,
OK Tire would be cool too because their colors are black and gold as well.
We've talked about. I want your guys' thoughts on this too, and I'm gonna answer this first. I would say the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have the most pressure this offseason to make sure this team is better.
No,
I think. Well, I don't know, because I feel like you have to keep winning, like keep up with a good team, because you're riding such a high with how good attendance has been recently that you really want to tell your fans, hey, this isn't gonna stop. Like,
yeah,
I think your mic just cut off, Sam, there for a second.
What?
Oh my gosh, you're back. But I just think with Winnipeg, as you said, because how good they've been in the past and the attendance being so phenomenal, I think they want to show that
stadium looks like a football stadium too. I like that.
Oh, it does. I love it. But Dan, you said no to me right away. So who's your pick with the team with the most pressure?
It has to be the Argos for the first time in recent history.
But what kind of pressure? Because, like, obviously there is a lot of passionate fans, but there's not a lot of fans.
Well, that's what I was just going to get to, right? Unfortunately, the fans are low, but it's the first time in recent history that Argos attendance is slowly going up.
That's
you
true.
Spent all that money in BMO Field for the World Cup of Soccer. you can't have the arena double and have the same amount of people there. It's going to feel so empty, it's ridiculous. The Argos have won back-to-back, won 2 Grey Cups in 3 years. I get that we're not going to win the Grey Cup every year, but I think in order to sell the attendance to fill up that stadium, you got to at least be competitive. And I get we're not going to win the Grey Cup, but to go from a 5-win season, go from a Grey Cup to a 5-win season, the whole controversy with Chad Kelly, then you got the whole Dinwiddie controversy too into it this offseason.
Right.
I think they got most approved. I think you have to point.
They got a lot more to do than being competitive, though, because like even when they were competitive, nobody came. So like,
Well, exactly, right? Yeah,
there's a
100%.
lot more that organization needs to do, and I know MLSE knows that, but like MLSE makes a lot of money as it is, and I know a lot of it's from the Leafs
And the
but
Raptors.
yeah, I would say that. Yeah,
Raptors right now are worth more than the Leafs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Leafs
literally.
are a
look at the
lot
numbers.
better. They're a really good team this year.
Well, when
Yeah.
they've won, before all of us were alive. So
The other thing too, you gotta say with the Argos is they have some pressure because of the Buffalo partnership, right? They gotta make that worthwhile for the Bills and for the Argos. I think there's a lot of pressure on Toronto. People have even come out and say it's Toronto really a football city, which is sad because I mean the Argos is the oldest franchise in the CFL, right?
It's
I
the
mean,
oldest professional franchise, I'm pretty sure.
it is
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, oldest in North America. Yeah, I think it's a lot of. I think the Argos were just starting and turning the corner the past couple of years, and I think they had a downward spiral drastically with Kelly and Dinwiddie last year. So I think we really have a bounce back. I think it's crucial for them to bounce back.
it's interesting though. Neither one of you guys are really saying Ottawa. I think Ottawa's under so much pressure as well because they
Yeah,
went
that's
from
another one.
being the best team in the league at home 2 years ago to last year at home. I think they won what, like 2 games, 2 out of
If
4.
that.
They
Yeah.
only won 4 games all year, and only 2 of them were at home.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think the fans in Ottawa after the season 2 years ago and that crazy playoff game against Toronto, I think the fans expect more. And I think
Talk
when you
about a
bring in a coach
shootout.
with Ryan Dinwiddie with his tenure, guy that's won, 2 Grey Cups in the last 4 years, I think there's a lot of pressure on Ottawa that they have to be not just a playoff team. I think Ottawa has to be a contender this year.
Yeah, 100%.
I might sound crazy to go from poop to contender, but I
So
think
you think
Ottawa,
they have to be in the East Final?
yeah, I do. I think they got to make it to the East Final bare minimum. I think Edmonton has to make the playoffs next year. Like, I think there's a lot of teams.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Winnipeg, they're under. I know I said Winnipeg's under a lot of pressure, and they are, but at least with Winnipeg, they've been to the Grey Cup a bunch of times the last few years. Same with Montreal. I don't think there's pressure on Montreal. Like, they've been to the Grey Cup twice in 3 years. They've won one of them. They were the best team in the East one year. The end of the season in between, they didn't make it. I don't think there's any pressure there. I don't think BC's under a lot of pressure.
Well, Montreal's been to the East Final at least the last 3 years.
Yes.
So.
Calgary has pressure.
I don't think they do. I think Calgary, they just need to try to make it a little one step further. But like, I think
Calgary
Calgary
just needs to build. They just need to build on like recent success on the field. They also need to get more fans in that stadium too.
Yeah,
well, they desperately need to redo
Every
that.
team needs to get more fans in the stadium.
Yeah,
Well,
except
maybe not
Winnipeg and
Saskatchewan and
Saskatchewan.
Winnipeg.
You can't be a football league and barely like struggle to sell out games. Like it's
which is a shame because I've said to people once you
Well,
get
Montreal, they sell it almost every time.
yeah, because that stadium only seats 20,000, like 20-something thousand.
Still more in Argos.
Same with Hamilton. That's the reason why they sell out a lot of games because that stadium is not that big.
Well, mind you, I think that's
but I do
CFL,
agree with you, Dan. Like it looks good when it's sold out. I don't care how much people are like can fit in there. When you get a sold out stadium, you get the like camera angle and like you're there. It just makes it such a much better atmosphere.
And like I have this argument too, stadiums like that probably want a smaller stadium because you like Hamilton, the cheapest you get a ticket's like $80 versus Argos, you get a ticket for like $20, right? They're more because it's a smaller stadium, they sell out. So because they sell out, it brings up the value per ticket, right? So, I think especially if we go into like a playoff one, I think we're okay with our stadiums being a bit smaller. Okay, even like Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, like no, besides of Edmonton, no CFL stadium's as big as an NFL stadium, right?
No.
Well, no,
That's what I'm saying.
even yeah, you're right. It's only Edmonton's. Even Winnipeg Stadium's not nearly as big, but
No, I feel like Winnipeg's only like 40,000.
it's like
Correct, yeah.
35, which
There's-
Winnipeg's admitted now is a miscalculation. They should have made it bigger
Oh, I was shocked they made it that small. I was like, what?
because Winnipeg they love their football.
There are things that they can do with that stadium. Like they can add more premium seating and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the question is, do people in that market want to pay big money for premium? Do they just want to go for football? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, because it's a football city. It's not. You don't go there for a glass of Chardonnay like you do for a Leaf game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or the Jays, because that's what they did with the Rogers
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah,
But-
true.
So we've gone over the Third Down Nation top 40.
Big surprise. Big
As-
surprise.
As Dan said, there are a lot of talented players who don't make that list. So what I have done, I've compiled
This is a surprise.
my sleeper picks. These are
Oh.
guys that are not in the top
Oh.
40 that I think are off the radar.
Oh, there's some
that I
big
think
names
are
on here.
Very, very, very talented players that are off the radar that I think could make a team a lot better.
Oh yeah.
So Addison, I could not believe was not in the top 40.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
This guy's insane. He's a run. He can be a running back, wide receiver, multi-tool. Yeah, a
Oh,
little bit of
there's
injury
Adam Big Hill.
concerns.
Yeah.
Phenomenal player.
Adam Big Hill is a big one.
Adam
Dozer-
Big Hill's another one. Brendan Dozer, who Toronto recently cut.
Yeah. that's a
Mike
shocker.
Rose. You have Sean Thomas Erlington, Tavares Daniels, Stephen Dunbar, Walter Fletcher. He's a guy, actually, if someone's looking for a budget-friendly running back, didn't play at all last year.
Mm.
Montreal cut him and no one brought him back. I think this could be a guy that if you're looking for someone on a budget, might be the perfect fit.
Mhm.
Robert Priester is another phenomenal defensive player, defensive back. I think maybe Toronto might bring him back.
Mhm. Yeah.
And if you're looking for short yardage quarterbacks, maybe you look no further than Shea Patterson.
Yeah, his name popped up to me.
I'm surprised the BC Lions haven't re-signed TJ Lee yet.
Yeah. The big one too.
So out of these names, though, guys, what's a name that you really see and you're like, man, this is a guy that a team's going to get and he's going to make them a lot better?
I think Tavares Daniels. I think he's been kind of a sweeper in Argoland the past few years just because of the depth of the receivers. But I think if he was on a team where the receiver depth wasn't so big, he could be a 1,000-yard guy.
All right, so I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna copy Dan.
So
Well, no, I just maybe it'll make things more interesting. I'll say Big Hill.
You know, Adam Big Hill's an interesting one, and Dan, so have you with Daniels. You're both wrong, but it's interesting. I'm kidding. I'm looking for Charleston Rambo.
I almost said him.
I think Charleston Rambo to Edmonton will be a match made in heaven. Really nice 600 to 700 yard
Okay.
guy. And also watch out for Mike Rose, another really solid defensive lineman who could eat a lot of sacks. And obviously Addison, if a team's looking for a really, really high-end receiver, I wonder if maybe Winnipeg brings him in to try to round out the receiving core. So then you'd have Ontario Wilson, Tim White, Nick Dembski, and Addison, because I don't think Wheatfall's coming back to Winnipeg, although Wheatfall does really fit their system well.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Sean Thomas Erlington to Toronto?
Dan would have a better opinion with that, eh, Dan?
I could see that. Yeah.
Budget running back, had a pretty solid year last year.
Yeah, I could see that.
Erlington, you know, in 88 carries, had 386 yards, averaged 4.7 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. Unfortunately, he got injured because I think he was going at one point. It looked like he was going to be the starting running back for Montreal.
Yeah.
So I could actually see Erlington to Toronto on a nice budget contract.
I'm surprised you don't have Macan on this list, Jacob.
He's not a sleeper for me.
Ooh.
I think McMahon, I think his days in the CFL might be done.
Yeah, I think so.
He had a huge opportunity in Toronto last year and just did not.
Epic fail.
Yeah, it was a really bad year for him.
Unfortunately.
Like, actually, as much as the Argos didn't keep Williams, I think Williams showed more promise than McMahon.
Williams is on here twice.
Well, that's how good he is. But Williams, you know what? Williams last year in Toronto with limited action because of the injury, 88 carries. He did have 386 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. I thought he was starting to kind of get going in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be very curious to see. Maybe he's a guy that a team takes a gamble on, as he's very young. He's only 24. So I'll be very interested to see if another team picks him up.
I think, too, depending on quarterback injuries, you could see Cameron Dukes get a spot halfway through the year.
Honestly, I actually like Cameron Dukes. I think
I like him too.
He won't come back to Toronto after he went out publicly saying Toronto fans are sending him death threats. So I don't see him coming to Toronto.
No.
How are you blown back by Toronto fans if there's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Really? What happened with that? That's weird.
The weird thing was Dukes was good in Toronto.
Yeah.
I think Cameron Dukes might be a good fit in Hamilton if they need a backup quarterback if Taylor Powell doesn't resign.
Right, yeah.
Huh.
Actually, we didn't talk about this when we were talking Trey Ford. Maybe Trey Ford to Hamilton. But Levi Mitchell's is at the wrong side of 30.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they can't bring back Taylor Powell, because I think they want Powell to be their starter potentially next year. Maybe Trey Ford. You can give him some unique packages, and maybe you can do something interesting with him in Edmonton. I mean, him in
Why
Hamilton.
do you put Powell in Montreal? Does Montreal need a backup?
Unless you're really set on Morgan, which I'm not personally.
I'm not either, no.
But
because when Alexander got injured, they were like really rough.
Oh, they were terrible, and I think MBT is going to retire.
Yeah,
maybe BC if they're looking for a veteran backup. But
actually, that back in BC, I think he might retire.
Masoli.
That's all I see him.
He's on my sleeper one because I think Jeremiah Masoli can still play.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a team, maybe he goes back to Ottawa to back up Drew Brown. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a veteran in Ottawa would help. Maybe McLeod Buffalo Thompson goes to Ottawa. His best years were with Ryan Dinwiddie.
Right.
So I think it's going to be very interesting. The tampering window is open as of February 1st when this episode drops.
Woo! Let's go.
And we will make sure, or maybe we'll end up dropping it this evening. Who knows? But we will be definitely doing more coverage on CFL once we start to hear some rumors that we can talk about if we think these are going to be legit. And free agency opens February the 8th, I believe.
Sounds about right.
I will confirm that, but I believe the CFL free agency opens at the 8th at noon. CFL free agency. Oh, sorry, February 10th.
3 Down Nation would probably have the dates as well.
Yeah.
So they have it. I mean, hopefully this episode helped you get all up to date. Yeah, it opens at February 10th. So maybe February 10th we'll have to I'm sure if we can, we would love to do a CFL free agent frenzy episode on February 10th.
That'd be pretty sweet.
What day of the week is that?
That's a great question, Sam. I'm going to look that up for you, just for you. February 10th is a Tuesday, so maybe we'll do a recap on Tuesday.
I was going to say, maybe me and Dan can do it live from the classroom.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys never know.
But even if we don't do an episode, don't worry. We'll be posting tons of stuff on social media about it. So right before Valentine's Day, too. So you know what you can do after that? We'll go live on Valentine's Day. You can snuggle with the analyst desk. But thank you very much for joining
for that.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us at the Analyst Desk, where every day feels like game day. If you're looking for more content like this, make sure to follow us on all the social medias.
All of them. Like, don't pass on any of them.
Exactly. We hope this gave you a good preview on what's to come. Coming up next on the Analyst Desk for CFL content, we will be doing an episode breaking down more of each team of what they need. Today was the players. We'll be doing the teams very, very soon. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. I'm Jacob Moore, the sports analyst, joined by Sam.
Hi.
You have the shortest name, Sam. And Mr. More for your money.
Woo!
Until next time, thank you for joining us at the Analyst Desk, where every day feels like game day.
Bye-bye.